Yo, what's up guys, hope you guys are doing good. So today we are going to see what if Naruto Awaken the ancient forgotten overpowered Jutsu part 2. Hope you will enjoy this video, so before we start please like the video and subscribe to our channel and hit bell notification, it motivates me to upload more fanfics for my lovely audience. So let's get started. Seeing as Naruto's future sight window was only a few seconds when he wasn't focusing, or his eyes were acting on their own like they sometime did, Naruto's warning to Kakashi came with not enough time as a pair of Senbons sailed through the air and nailed Zabuza in the neck. Hehe, you were right. He is dead, called out a voice from the top of one of the tree branches. As everyone shifted their gaze upward, a robed ninja wearing an Anbu-style mask with the Kurigakure emblem stood atop a tree branch. Jumping down from his own branch, Kakashi checked the vital signs on the corpse of Momoichi Zabuza. He really is dead, Kakashi figured. The masked ninja bowed. Thank you very much. I have been searching for the opportunity to kill Zabuza for a long time. That mask, I take it you're a hunter nin from Kurigakure? Inquired Kakashi. I am, replied the hunter nin. Hunter nin? Asked Team 7 out of curiosity. Yes. My duty is to hunt down missing nins. I am a member of Kurigakure's Hunter Nin team, spoke the Hunter Nin. From the voice and the height, I'd say our Hunter Nin's a girl, probably not much older than Naruto, thought Kakashi. And yet she's a Hunter Nin. Who the hell are you? Shouted Naruto. Don't worry Naruto, she's not an enemy, said Kakashi. But that Zabuza, he was that strong and killed just like that. Naruto continued. He was strong and yet he was killed by a kid. A kid not much different than me. How can I understand that? I know how you feel Naruto. But that is the sad truth in our world. There exist kids younger than you, yet stronger than me, replied Kakashi. Before anything else could be asked, the hunter nin disappeared and then reappeared next to the body of Zabuza, before taking it away to dispose of it. Now to get Tazuna home safely, said Kakashi. Let's go. With that, Kakashi took one step before falling flat on his face. My body won't move, use the Sharingan too much. Arriving at Tazuna's house, they were greeted by a young woman whom Tazuna introduced as his daughter, Tsunami. Kakashi was placed on a futon in a spare room and everyone else collapsed on nearby cushions. Sensei, are you alright? Asked Sakura. Yeah, but I'll be out for a week or so. I used up too much chakra from using the Sharingan, said Kakashi. Well, we just defeated a really strong ninja, so we should be safe for a while, said Tazuna. By the way, who was the masked kid? Sakura asked, prompting Kakashi to go into a long discussion revolving around Kurigakure's hunter nins, causing Kakashi to come to a most troublesome conclusion: Zabuza's alive. What? But we saw him die. Exclaimed Sakura. True, but hunter nins usually dispose of the body on spot, said Kakashi. How did the hunter enin dispose of Zabuza's body? How could we know? That masked ninja took off with the body, said Sakura. If hunter nins need proof, they just take the head and destroy the rest of the body, said Kakashi. And the weapon that he used to kill Zabuza, simple needles. They aren't made for killing, but can put you in a death-like state. So he is alive then? Asked Sakura. Most likely, and that hunter nin is actually his accomplice, said Kakashi. Regardless, it is very likely Gato will send someone else after us, whether it's Zabuza or an even stronger opponent. I estimate we have about a week before we face the risk of another attack. During then, we're going to prepare. What do you mean by prepare? Asked Naruto. For the next week, you guys will receive training while you rotate between guarding Tazuna. You guys are growing rapidly. All of you, said Kakashi. Get some rest, because tomorrow we'll start. That's not fun, scoffed a young boy who had just entered the room. Inari, where were you? Cheered Tazuna. Inari, say hello to these people. They are ninjas who protected Grandpa. Mom, Inari said, turning away from Tazuna and towards his mother, Tsunami. They are going to die. What? Shouted Naruto and Sakura in unison. Sasuke was thinking the same exact thing, even if he didn't say anything. There's no way you can win against Gato, said Inari. You little brat, shouted Naruto. Listen here. I am a superhero who will one day become an incredible ninja called the Hokage. I don't know this Gato, but he's nothing against me. Humph. What are you, stupid? Inari asked. There's no such thing as a hero. Inari turned to leave a flailing Naruto, being held back by Sakura. If you don't want to die, you should leave. Sorry. Tazuna apologized just as Naruto stomped up the stairs to go have a talk with Inari. As Naruto got to Inari's door, he heard the small boy crying from inside. Changing his mind, he decided to leave the crying boy alone for the time being. So Naruto, you going to tell us more about this bloodline of yours? Asked Sasuke as the three of them sat down in the spare room. This would be Sakura's room while Naruto and Sasuke slept on futons in the living room. Honestly, there's not really much more to tell you other than my Sharingan. Sakura-chan got it correct when she said it can see into the future, replied Naruto. Other than that, I don't know what else my Jikiden can do. Jikiden? Asked both Sasuke and Sakura simultaneously. Yeah, that's supposedly the name of the bloodline that Hokage Gigi told me I have. But other than these eyes, I still don't know what else I can do, said Naruto. So when were you planning on telling us? Asked Sasuke, now pushing the subject further. I was actually going to tell you guys after this mission. Hokage Gigi told me to be careful with revealing my bloodline, something about it being a long-lost bloodline and villages trying to get their hands on it if they ever found out, replied Naruto. I'm sorry I didn't tell you guys, but I wanted to wait for the right moment. You mean like after we get attacked by ninja? Retorted Sasuke. Well, we weren't supposed to be attacked, sweated Naruto. It's fine. Just one more question to ask, said Sasuke. And then Naruto was bombarded with questions about the future by Sasuke and Sakura. Sasuke wanted to know when he would get his Sharingan, how he got it, and when and how he killed a man by the name of Uchiha Itachi, who he revealed to be his brother and the one responsible for the deal of his clan. Sakura on the other hand wanted to know stuff along the lines of when Sasuke-kun would finally accept one of her date requests, and when they would get married. Needless to say, Naruto was resisting the urge to face-palm himself, repeatedly. I can't see that far ahead guys, responded Naruto. At most, it's only 2 days if I really focus. Although it used to only be a day, so maybe with some more practice, but I can't see much further than that. Both Sasuke and Sakura sighed in defeat. It was worth a shot. Gato's hideaway. So, even you have come back defeated, smirked Gato, who was accompanied by 2 thugs, about twice his size, wielding swords at their sides. It looks like Kiri ninja are pretty pathetic. The young girl who was tending to Zabuza's wounds did not like the tone of the short man at all and just watched him cautiously. You can't even avenge your own men. And you call yourself a demon, mocked Gato. I bet I could even take that girl of yours and there'd be nothing to stop me from doing so. A sickening grin appeared on Gato's face as he reached towards the girl tending to Zabuza. That was one mistake Gato shouldn't have made as the young girl grabbed Gato's arm and snapped the bones in the short businessman's arm in a single quick motion. Ready to defend their boss, the 2 guards moved forward, only for the girl to grab their own swords and hold it to their necks, making them freeze out of pure surprise at the speed of the girl. Fine. One more time. I'll give you one more chance, but if you fail, you won't be welcome here anymore. Shouted Gato before he and his guards left the room. Haku, you didn't have to, said Zabuza, showing Haku the kunai underneath his covers. I know it's too early to kill Gato. If we cause a commotion, they'll be after us again, said Haku. We must be patient. In a forested clearing, outside of Tazuna's house. From now on, one of you will be guarding Tazuna while the other 2 stay here and train, said Kakashi. You 3 already have the basic chakra control exercises down, but I still want you to practice those a bit. However, that's not what I had planned. So are you going to teach us a cool jutsu, Kakashi-sensei? Asked Naruto. Unfortunately, I don't have what I need here to teach you three a jutsu, but I want to continue on our discussion about chakra, said Kakashi. As ninja, we use chakra to perform jutsus, but that's not all. Chakra can also be used to augment our movements, namely speed and strength. Just looking at the three of you, I think Naruto and Sasuke would be better at learning the speed aspect first while Sakura learns the strength aspect. Sakura, one reason I believe strength is best for you is that it requires extremely refined chakra control, something you are naturally blessed with. The legendary Sannin, Senju Tsunade is renowned for being able to utilize precise chakra control to increase her strength to monstrous levels. It's said that she can spit the earth in two with a single punch, explained Kakashi. As for Naruto and Sasuke, you both have more chakra than Sakura, which will allow you to maintain higher chakra levels for longer periods of time, and as a result sustain speeds. This is how the Shunshin no Jutsu, body flicker technique, works, said Kakashi. Sasuke, you may be familiar with this name, Uchiha Shisui. Sasuke's head perked up at this. He had heard of Shunshin no Shisui. If he remembered correctly, Shisui had committed suicide one day before the massacre. Shisui was so skilled with the Shunshin that he was hailed as one of the fastest shinobi in the village and a deadly opponent on the field, said Kakashi. Sakura, why don't you guard Tazuna first and I'll explain the basics of the Shunshin to Naruto and Sasuke. When you come back, we'll see if we can start putting that chakra control of yours to good use. For the next few hours, Kakashi worked with Naruto and Sasuke on how to apply the chakra to their legs in order to move at increased speeds. Since the Shunshin was considered a D rank technique, Kakashi was honestly hoping that both Naruto and Sasuke would be able to use the technique by the end of the week. While the training wasn't as exciting as walking up trees or across water, it served the purpose for the technique. For this, Kakashi had his students stand a set distance away while one dropped a rock from a standing position. If the exercise was done correct, the other would be able to shunshin to the first side and grab the rock before it touched the ground. In all honesty, it didn't take long before either Naruto and Sasuke began getting bored, resulting in a few spars. For Naruto, those spars were probably the best things he could have been doing, as Sasuke had allowed the use of his dojutsu, giving Naruto some actual combat training using the Sharingan to see the attacks coming and react to it. Needless to say, Sasuke could not land a hit on Naruto during the spars where the blonde was using his dojutsu. Sakura's training was slightly different in that Kakashi wasn't necessarily focusing on Sakura's speed, although there were times when he passed a few hints to either Naruto or Sasuke, hoping she would catch on to the requirements behind the Shunshin. Still, Kakashi saw one problem that he would have to solve at some point: Sakura could still be considered a fangirl. Unlike Naruto or Sasuke, who were in good shape from having put in quite a bit of extra training on their own times, Sakura was not doing the same. Also, whenever Sasuke was around and Naruto was guarding Tazuna, she would seem a bit distracted. Of course, she had performed her duties of protecting Tazuna during their encounters with the ninja, but for the most part, Naruto and Sasuke had done all the fighting. It was not necessarily something he wanted to do on this mission, but Kakashi knew that sooner or later, he'd have to help Sakura break out of the fangirl mentality. Sitting on a stack of wooded beams, Sakura let out a big yawn. It was her time to guard Tazuna. "Hey, Tazuna," called out one of the builders. "What is it, Jiki?" asked Tazuna. "I've been doing a lot of thinking recently and, I'm sorry, but can I stop working on the bridge?" asked Jiki. "Why, not you too?" exclaimed Tazuna. "I'm sorry, Tazuna. I want to help you, but if we continue, Gato will take notice, and if you get killed, then what's the point?" asked Jiki. "Why don't we just quit building the bridge?" "I can't do that," replied Tazuna. "This bridge, our bridge, this is the bridge we started building together believing it would bring resources into our poor country. But if we lose our lives, shouted Jiki. It's already noon. Let's stop for today. Jiki, you don't have to come tomorrow, said Tazuna. Sakura accompanied Tazuna through the village. What she saw opened her eyes to just how bad the situation in the wave truly was. All around, people littered the streets, looking malnourished and broken. There was one man who was wearing a sign that said, "We'll take any job." There were many villagers looking for just the opportunity to steal a free meal from food stands that were already lacking in food. It was just a depressing sight to see how bad of shape the village was in. As Tazuna and Sakura exited the store, Sakura felt someone's hand brush against her behind, going for the satchel she had around her shoulder. Still, the slight brush was enough to send Sakura's female intuition into overdrive as she turned around to see a man trying to pickpocket her, or feel her up. Pervert. The pink-haired genin shouted before slamming her fist into the pervert's face and sending him skidding through the street until he crashed into a pile of crates. That training Kakashi had been giving her on using chakra to augment her strength was already paying off. What's going on in this city? Asked Sakura, moments before she felt another tug on her ass and was about to clobber another pervert trying to feel her up when she stopped, realizing that it was a skinny and starving child. Much to the child's delight, Sakura dumped a handful of candy into the kid's hands. All the adults have lost hope, said Tazuna, answering Sakura's question from earlier. This is why we need the bridge. It's a symbol of courage this village desperately needs. We need the people to lose their fears and stand up for themselves. If that bridge can be completed, then hope will return to this land. After a hard day of training, with the record now standing at 5-4 in Naruto's favor as a result of the spars they had over the day, Naruto and Sasuke were engaged in one more competition for the day. More please, shouted both of them, handing Tsunami their bowl, only for them to nearly throw up as a result of overeating. They were just one step closer to becoming an Akamichi. After reprimanding the two hogs, Sakura walked over to view a torn photo on the wall that Inari was staring at earlier. Tazuna began to explain about the missing person before Inari stood up from the table and walked away, slamming his bedroom door. After some yelling from Tsunami, they explained that the man missing was Tsunami's husband, Kaiza, who Inari looked at as a father, despite not being blood-related. However, the mood quickly grew darker as it was revealed that Kaiza was murdered by Gato for standing up to the tyrant. It was then that Nami lost their last hero and their spirits broke. Naruto, where are you going? Asked Sakura as Naruto wearily got up from his chair. I'm going to prove that heroes do exist. This country will have a brighter future, I guarantee that, declared Naruto as he briefly flashed his Sharingan. The following morning came with Naruto being awoken to the sun's rays. He had fallen asleep in the middle of a clearing within the forest, training himself to the brink of total exhaustion. However, he wasn't alone. Nearby, a young girl, perhaps a year or two older than Naruto, was walking through a patch of field that was rich in medical herbs when she noticed an orange bundle on the ground. The first thing that caught her eye was the headband on the boy, Konoha. He's one of the ninja that Zabuza-sama fought, thought Haku before reaching and shaking Naruto on the shoulder, waking him. The very moment Naruto felt a hand on his shoulder, his Sharingan went on overdrive, filling his head with visions. The day had come, the day where Zabuza and his accomplice had come to finish their job. Naruto's vision focused primarily on Zabuza's accomplice. Sasuke was the one who engaged the masked ninja and they quickly locked grips, before the masked attacker made a single hand seal and the water around Sasuke rose up, forming into 1,000 sharp water needles. Sasuke managed to dodge the attack, thanks to the increase in speed he had picked up over the week of training. But it was then that things went downhill as the masked attacker unleashed their true power, forming a dome of ice mirrors surrounding Sasuke. Before Sasuke could even react, he was assaulted with a barrage of Senbon. And then, Naruto arrived in blazing fashion, shouting his entrance into the battle out loud for the world to hear. Doing something completely unexpected and stupid at the same time, Naruto, snuck into the masked ninja's jutsu to try and help Sasuke, but that's where things went downhill. The masked assailant somehow stepped into the mirrors, and before anyone knew it, Naruto and Sasuke were assaulted with a barrage of Senbon again. Sasuke tried to retaliate and melt the mirrors with his Kaden Gokaku no Jutsu, but the ice withstood the fire. And then more Senbon rained upon the boys. Out of frustration, Naruto formed 24 clones, all with the hopes of breaking through the jutsu, but the masked assailant was too fast, dispelling all the clones in seconds. Naruto was then bombarded with a barrage of Senbon. Both boys, now resembling of pincushions, struggled to rise to their feet. However, Sasuke was beginning to notice something. He was now able to follow the insanely fast movements of his opponent. Sasuke's eyes blaze a fiery red, his Sharingan finally awakening. It was then that the masked assailant realized that the battle had to be finished quick. The easiest target, Naruto. Sasuke moved to intercept the attack. As Naruto's eyes began to open, the sight was horrific. Sasuke had taken the attack that was meant to kill him. Needles stuck out of Sasuke's neck and body, blood pouring around the needles. "What's with that face? You moron," spoke Sasuke weakly. "Why?" asked Naruto. "I don't know. My body just moved on its own," said Sasuke before dropping to the ground, dead. Rage and anger filled Naruto as the masked ninja stepped back into the mirror. To the ninja's horror, a vile and dark chakra flared up from around Naruto, who was now taking on a slightly more feral appearance. With blinding speed and building rage, Naruto punched one of the ice mirrors before the masked ninja even had time to jump to the safety of another mirror. Naruto's fist drove straight through the ice, shattering it and sending the masked ninja flying back, crashing into the barrier on the side of the bridge. As Naruto readied himself for another attack, the mask began to shatter and fall off, revealing the same girl he had met a day or two ago in the forest. And the same girl he was looking at this very moment. The vision continued for just a little bit longer. Naruto's punch immediately stopped upon seeing the identity of the masked ninja, and the hatred and anger left his system. "Why did you stop?" asked the girl. "I killed you, precious friend, yet you can't kill me." Looking over at Sasuke's corpse, Naruto managed a punch, but it was nowhere near as powerful as before. There are people who make this mistake, not killing their enemy because of pity, letting them leave with just their lives, spoke the girl. "Can you understand? Not having a dream, not being needed by someone, the pain of simply living." Naruto could in fact understand. "What are you trying to say?" asked Naruto. "Zabuza has no need for a weak shinobi. You have taken away my reason for existing," spoke the girl. "Why? Why for a guy like that? He's a bad guy who takes money from a criminal," shouted Naruto. "Is that eyebrowless freak the only important person to you?" "A long time ago, I had people very important to me, parents," said the girl. And with that, she went into a story explaining about how she was born in Kirigakure to parents who loved her, until her father found out she and her mother possessed a Kekkei Genkei, a rare bloodline trait feared and persecuted throughout Mizu no Kuni, and killed her mother while trying to kill her. It was then that the girl's bloodline activated, killing her father and the mob he had assembled before she could be killed. For weeks, the frail girl wandered the cold, moving from village to village, surviving off of whatever she could find that had been tossed aside. "At that time, I realized the most painful thing," the girl said. "That in this world, I am a person unwanted." It was then that Naruto began to realize something. He and the girl were alike, feared for something they had no control over. Now, if someone who acknowledged you from the bottom of their heart appeared, wouldn't that someone become the most important person to you? The girl asked. Naruto's mind immediately flashed to Iruka-sensei. Zabuza-sama took me in, knowing I was a person with an advanced bloodline. The blood that everyone hated, he desired it, and he gave me my reason to exist. There was someone who wanted me, and I knew I would follow him until the end of the world, just to help him accomplish his own goals. I'm sorry, Zabuza-sama, I was unable to become the weapon you sought, thought the girl before speaking 2 words to Naruto. Kill me. Naruto's vision flashed forward a few moments, to where Naruto was hesitantly going to kill this girl, although he probably never would have ended up killing her. Immediately, the girl sensed something and before Naruto could even react, kicked the blonde in the stomach before creating an ice mirror and disappearing in it. Huh, thought Naruto as he frantically looked around for the girl. Over there. Naruto ran towards 3 shady figures, the mist still lingering around to obscure his vision. However, when Naruto arrived at where the girl was, he couldn't help but let a horrified look overcome his face. The girl was now standing between Kakashi and Zabuza, who had been locked in a fight of their own, with Kakashi's hand piercing clean through her body, where her heart was. It seemed like Haku saw that she could be of one last use to Zabuza, using herself as a shield and sacrificing her own life to ensure Zabuza's survival. At this, Zabuza just laughed before preparing to swing his sword. I sure picked up something useful, good girl, giving me this final chance, Zabuza said as he swung his sword, prepared to cleave Kakashi and his now dead accomplice in two. Swiftly, Kakashi leapt out of the way, taking the girl's body with him over to Naruto and lying her corpse next to the blonde. Hee, with Haku dead, you can move, Zabuza laughed and rage began building up in Naruto as he looked down at the girl who gave her life in exchange for Zabuza's. Naruto, stay here, said Kakashi before pulling his hand out of Haku's chest and closing her eyes. For some reason that Naruto still couldn't get, she looked peaceful that she was able to fulfill her self-proclaimed purpose one last time. Naruto cut the vision there, not wanting to see any more. For some reason, he didn't care how the battle between Kakashi and Zabuza ended. He just couldn't bear to think on how Haku would give herself like that willingly for someone like Zabuza. Naruto soon opened his eyes, after feeling the hand on his shoulder. He looked up to see who had awoken him and was shocked when it was the very same girl from his vision, Haku he believed her name was. She was wearing a light pink kimono and had a basket of herbs at her side. You'll catch cold sleeping in a place like this, the girl said. Huh, who are you? Naruto asked, pretending to have not seen his vision for the moment. I was out here looking for some medical herbs for my friend who was injured the other day, the girl replied. So what did Naruto do? He offered to help find the medical herbs she needed. Thanks for helping me out. You sure are working early, lady, said Naruto as he handed the herb to the girl. You are too. What are you doing here at this time of morning? Training, exclaimed Naruto. I see, that headband, could you be a ninja? Asked the girl. You noticed. Yeah, I'm a ninja, Naruto shouted, getting a small giggle out of the girl. This in turn caused Naruto to let a slight blush creep across his face. Why are you training? Inquired the girl. Because I want to become stronger, replied Naruto without a hint of doubt in his voice. But you already look pretty strong, said the girl. No, I want to become even stronger, exclaimed Naruto. To become Hokage, the strongest ninja in my village is my dream. I'm going to make everyone acknowledge my strength and there's also something I need to prove right now. Is that for you or someone else? Asked the girl. Naruto just looked at her with a confused expression before she laughed again. Do you have someone who's precious to you? What? Asked Naruto. When a person has something important to protect, that's when they can truly become strong, said the girl. Naruto's memory immediately flashed to Iruka-sensei and his team before he smiled. Yes, I understand that very well. The girl picked up her basket of herbs before she slowly began to walk away. You will become strong. Let's meet again somewhere. By now, Naruto couldn't help but ignore the memories from his vision that were now tearing at each other inside his head. Wait, Haku is it? Haku stopped dead in her tracks. She had not revealed her name to this boy and yet he knew. I know you're with him. That eyebrow-less guy, Zabuza, spoke Naruto. Haku immediately formed a Senbon out of ice and threw it at Naruto, who dodged it with ease. I don't want to fight, just talk. Haku stood there for a moment with another Senbon in hand before cautiously lowering it. I can't explain why, but I know. I know how you view Zabuza, how you see yourself as nothing more than that guy's tool. How? To a guy like that, how? To say Haku was surprised, well, even though she was trying to hide it, she couldn't. Flashback no Jutsu. Haku, where are you going? Asked Zabuza as Haku prepared to leave the base where she and Zabuza were recovering from their battle. Haku was going to go out to find some herbs to help with Zabuza's healing. I'm just going to find some medicine to help you, replied Haku. I see. Very well then, but be careful. You may run into those Konoha ninja. If you run into that Kakashi, stay away from him. And also be careful of that blonde brat, said Zabuza. I don't know why, but he knew everything I was going to do. He could even see what I was going to do in the mist. I would have had them if it wasn't for that brat. I don't know how he saw my attacks before I did them, but I assure you I'll take care of him when we meet again soon, said Zabuza. End flashback no Jutsu. He could see Zabuza-sama's attacks before he used them. And he knew about my involvement with Zabuza-sama before I even said anything. Haku thought, trying to figure out this kid. Her mind came to one conclusion, but she dismissed it out of how ridiculous it sounded, foresight. You don't seem like the type of person who would be involved with a guy like Zabuza. You're too kind and too nice, said Naruto. That may be, but Zabuza-sama is the person I hold most dear. I know he saved your life, gave you a purpose for living. But how can you throw your life away for someone like him? Shouted Naruto. This shook Haku to the core. From what this kid was implying, she was going to die for Zabuza. Can I ask you something? Asked Naruto. Please don't come to the bridge. If you do, you'll die. That confirmed Haku's suspicion. Somehow, this boy had foreseen her own death, but one question remained. How will I die? That was one thing he had been lectured on by Kakashi-sensei and Iruka-sensei recently, not giving away too much. He could have told her exactly what he saw in his vision, but then the enemy would know how the battle was going to go and most likely change their attack plans. You'll die so that Zabuza can live, Naruto said, trying to tell her what would happen but without giving away any more details than absolutely necessary. Please just don't come to the bridge. To her, it was obvious that Naruto was still innocent in the world of shinobi. He didn't know death, and to him, everything about being a ninja was still a fantasy. I will do what Zabuza wishes, and if that means I must give up my own life to ensure he lives, then I will do such, replied Haku before walking off. Naruto stood there, clutching his hands before turning back to return to Tazuna's house. However, before Naruto could leave the clearing, Sasuke approached him, and before they knew it, they were training once again. It was late in the evening when, and with the aid of each other, Naruto and Sasuke hobbled back to Tazuna's house. The two plopped themselves down at the dinner table as Tsunami set some food and water in front of them, which disappeared within seconds. Hey, you two look worn out, chuckled Tazuna. I'm also worn out from today's work. At this rate, it will only be a matter of days before the bridge is done. Naruto-kun, Sasuke-kun, father. Don't overdo it, okay? Protested Tsunami. Across the table, Inari began to cry before shouting out. Why do you guys bother to try so hard? No matter how hard you train, you're still no match for Gato. No matter what glorious claims you make or how hard you work, when facing the strong, the weak will only end up getting killed. Everyone expected Naruto to shout back and argue loudly with the kid, but he just sat there, not wanting to waste whatever little energy he still had in a petty argument. Whatever, kid, I'm not like you. I'd hate to be like you. Inari shouted. You don't know anything about this country, yet you're being so nosy. What the hell do you know about me? I'm different from you, you're always clowning around and acting so cheerful, you don't know how hard life can be. Naruto finally snapped. Just keep on crying then forever, you little sissy. Inari was speechless and only began to cry harder. Naruto. Sakura shouted, now joining the fray. Whatever, said Naruto before walking away. I've got something I need to think about. I'll see you in the morning, Kakashi-sensei. Kakashi let out a sigh as he turned Inari, who was sulking away towards the door of the house, still crying. Can I join you? Inari, who was sitting on the dock outside his house, turned around to see the Jonin-sensei of the ninjas hired to protect his grandfather. Kakashi took a seat next to the boy. Naruto didn't mean any harm by what he said, he just sometimes does stuff without using his head. Tazuna-san told us about your dad, said Kakashi. Like you, Naruto also grew up without a father. Actually, he's never known his parents and he's never even had a single friend until just recently. The truth is, he's had a rougher past than you. But I've never once seen him cry or complain. He only moves on and works harder, trying his best to get people to acknowledge him. For his dream, he's risked his life at any time. Kakashi's words actually got through to Inari, and for the first time since Team 7 had met the small boy, Inari wasn't questioning the hopelessness of their actions. He knows what it really means to be strong, just like your father, said Kakashi. Naruto may actually understand your feelings better than anyone else. Regardless of what he said, he really does care about you. Inari was left speechless to contemplate those words for the rest of the evening. Damn it. Why did, or I guess will, Haku give her life just like that for someone like Zabuza? Why are they even working for someone like this Gato guy? Can't they see what Gato's doing to the people? Naruto, already frustrated from Inari's crying, clenched his fist so hard that his fingers actually dug into and caused his hands to bleed. What to do? I can't let them kill Tazuna or this island's going to suffer even more from Gato. But I don't want Haku to have to die. She just seems too good and too innocent to have to die for someone like Gato. And then there's Sasuke. Flashback no Jutsu, a few days ago. Naruto, Sasuke called out as he walked over to Naruto one time as the two of them were training. Can I ask you something? Huh, the great Uchiha Sasuke, asking me a question. Naruto joked, earning a glare from Sasuke. What do you want? I know you said you can't see that far into the future, but I want to ask that if you ever find out about how I awake my Sharingan that you'll let me know. Sasuke asked. Yeah, Naruto said, expecting something more like how much longer he was going to be tormented by fangirls or something. Don't worry, I promise I'll do whatever I can to help you with your Sharingan. End flashback no Jutsu. Sasuke unlocks his Sharingan tomorrow in the fight against Haku. I could tell him, but then he might do something that will make it so he never unlocks it. Plus despite how much he hated Sasuke back in the academy for all the attention everyone would pay him, Naruto had begun to develop a growing amount of respect for his teammate, and the last thing he wanted was for Sasuke to die. I could just go right away and try to stop any of Haku's attacks from hitting Sasuke, but then he might not get his Sharingan. Out of frustration on how complicated things were getting, Naruto grabbed his hair. First and above all, he had to make sure his team made it out alive. Letting Sasuke die was an absolute no. Second, Naruto didn't want Haku to die either. She seemed too innocent, and if Naruto could just somehow break that I'm nothing more than a tool thought that Zabuza shoved into her head, then perhaps she could see that there's more to living than just serving someone who works for a bastard like Gato. Third, there was Sasuke's Sharingan. He had promised Sasuke to help him with his Sharingan, and now that he knew Sasuke was going to unlock it battling Haku, he couldn't just shrug it off now, and if Sasuke ever found out, the Uchiha would be pissed. Plus Naruto wasn't going to start breaking promises now. And lastly, there was Gato. If there was anyone who had to die, it was Gato. While in thought, Naruto found himself slip from consciousness, like he had when he was first learning to activate his dojutsu. Unknown tower in some fantasy universe. Naruto awoke to find himself in a familiar, yet no less surprising place. He was now on top of the massive tower where he had first met time over a month ago. The blonde looked around until he saw the long blue cloak of time looking over the edge of the tower. Like last time, Naruto couldn't make out any features of the specter with the exception of his long beard. Naruto was about to inquire why he was here, but time stopped him. I know what you've been thinking about during your time to yourself, spoke time. You wonder why you're here. Well, I brought you here this time to give you a warning. Warning? Naruto asked. The last times you had a vision like that, just before the time came for you to take your 2 tests to become a shinobi, the end results were the same as they were intended to be, said time. As such, you using your foresight had no effect on the flow of time. Nothing really changed. But now, you're contemplating saving that girl and your teammate. I will tell you this. Had you have waited until the vision was finished, you would have learned that it was not your friend's time yet. Wait, Sasuke doesn't die? Asked a happy Naruto. He was simply put in a death-like state, but no, he does not die, spoke time. Naruto let out a sigh of relief. Well, that takes care of one thing. Now all that's left to do is figure out how to save Haku. And that is what I want to warn you about. Unlike your friend, this girl does in fact die. It is time for you to learn the truth behind the power you hold. You've probably noticed now that despite you knowing what's going to happen, you can act differently. Until now, there haven't been any problems as the end results were the same, you graduating, your team passing, your team defeating Zabuza the first time through. So long as the end result remains the same, the flow of time doesn't complain and continues to flow as it always has. However, should the end result be something different than what fate had predicted, well then consequences happen that even I cannot see, and consequences that were never supposed to happen come to pass. I will warn you now, don't try to save the girl. What? But why not? What's the point in having these powers if I can't do what I think is the right thing to do? Argued Naruto. Because as of this moment, the flow of time is stable. Saving this girl could potentially disrupt the flow of time, spoke time. I will leave you with that to ponder for now, until next time, said time, before giving Naruto another push, off the tower and towards the raging seas below. Goodbye, please take care of Naruto, said Kakashi as he and the rest of Team 7 left with Tazuna to the bridge. Naruto, on the other hand, was still asleep inside the house. About 30 minutes later, Naruto began to stir. Damn time. What should I do? I don't want to alter the flow of time, but I can't let Haku sacrifice herself like that. Looking over at a nearby clock, Naruto suddenly freaked out. Ah, I overslept. Hey, where is everyone? Shouted Naruto as he opened the door leading into the living room of the house. Oh, Naruto, you're awake. Your sensei said that you'd be asleep the rest of the day, said a surprised Tsunami. I knew it. They left me behind, shouted Naruto before dashing out of the door. Damn them. Damn time. It's because of him that I overslept, thought Naruto before his Sharingan flared on, showing him images of 2 bandits breaking into Tsunami's home and kidnapping both her and Inari. Tsunami was busy inside preparing food for when her dad and the shinobi returned. The moment she turned around to grab a pot, the door to her home was blown in by 2 of Gato's sword-wielding thugs. Are you Tasuna's daughter? Smirked the one wearing a black hat. Sorry, but you're coming with us. With that, the thug not wearing a shirt smashed the table Tsunami was working on, causing the young woman to be throwing back against the cabinets in the kitchen. Mom! Inari shouted, coming out of the bathroom after hearing a ruckus coming from the kitchen. What? There's a kid, grinned the thugs. Inari. Don't come. Run, shouted a panicked Tsunami. Should we take him too? Asked the shirtless thug. We only need one hostage, said the hat-wearing thug. And the woman will be more used to us once we're done with her and the old geezer. Tsunami shivered at that, but then the larger of the 2 drew his sword and looked towards Inari. If you touch that child, I'll bite my tongue and choke myself to death, threatened Tsunami. You want a hostage? Fine, I'll come, but leave my son out of this. Hey, smart girl, smirked the cap thug. Inari, however, cowered back behind the wall, crying as the words from last night came to him. Such pretty skin. I can't wait until after we take care of the old man, smirked the larger thug. I can't wait. Another shiver was sent down Tsunami's spine as she knew what awaited her should help fail to arrive. Wait. Huh? Asked one of the thugs as they looked over their shoulders to see Inari. It's that kid. Inari. Tsunami shouted. Get away from my mom. Demanded Inari. Hey, looks like I get to cut the little punk after all, grinned the larger thug. However, as the two thugs slashed through Inari, Inari poofed into a log, with the exception of his hat. Sorry for being late, apologized Naruto as he placed Inari next to his mother, who was near the point of passing out due to hyperventilation now. But usually, the hero shows up at the last second. Naruto. Great job, Inari, said Naruto. Hey look, it's one of those loser ninja, mocked the thugs. The two of them charged at Naruto as Naruto threw a couple of shuriken at them. The thugs easily dodged the shuriken, but those shuriken weren't shuriken. Before the thugs knew what hit them, the shuriken poofed into Naruto clones, giving a swift kick to the two thugs upside their heads and sent them skidding across the dock and into the water. Wait, how did you know they were coming here? Asked Inari. Let's just say I've got a knack for knowing what will happen, grinned Naruto. Never mind that. Sorry about yesterday, Inari. Sorry for calling you a sissy. You're actually pretty strong. At Naruto's words, Inari began to cry, again. Damn it. I had decided I wasn't going to cry anymore. What are you talking about? Asked Naruto before smiling at Inari. It's alright to cry when you're happy. Naruto then proceeded to bind the unconscious thugs in a mass of ropes and nets. If they attacked here, then the bridge might be in danger. I've gotta go. I can count on you to handle things here, right? Yup. Cheered Inari. Wow, what is this? Shouted Tazuna as he and Team 7 arrived at the bridge only to find the workers scattered across the bridge, injured, bleeding, or dead. A monster. One of the workers managed to get out before losing consciousness, just as the mist began to roll in. Team 7's guard rose as they instantly assumed formation. Kakashi-sensei, this is the Kurigakure no Jutsu, right? Asked Sakura. Sasuke began trembling. Long time no see, Kakashi, a familiar voice called out through the mist. I see you're still with those brats. Hey, poor kid, he's shaking again. Immediately, 6 Zabuzas appeared around the 4. Humph, I'm shaking, from excitement, grinned Sasuke before disappearing, and with a swift motion, cutting through all 6 Zabuzas. Another laugh called out through the mist as the Zabuzas turned to water. He saw right through the water clones. It looks like you may have a rival, eh Haku? Asked Zabuza to his apprentice, both of them standing on the opposite end of the bridge. So, my thinking was right on the mark, said Kakashi, eyeing the hunter nin from before. That hunter nin from before is working with Zabuza. I'll fight her, declared Sasuke. Tricking us with that stupid act, I hate bitches like that the most. You're so cool, Sasuke-kun. Squealed Sakura. She's way too hung up on him, sweat dropped Kakashi. Go, ordered Zabuza and the hunter nin instantly disappeared in a water shunshin, reappearing next to Sasuke and swiping at the young Uchiha with a Senbon. Sasuke swiftly responded with a kunai and the two weapons clashed with one another. So, he can keep up with Haku, thought Zabuza. Sakura, guard Tazuna. We'll let Sasuke handle her, ordered Kakashi as he eyed Zabuza. I don't want to have to kill you, but you won't stand down, will you? Asked Haku. Don't be foolish, grinned Sasuke. I see, but you won't be able to keep up with my speed next time. Plus I've already gained 2 advantages, smiled Haku underneath her mask. With that, Haku made a single-handed sign, surprising Sasuke, and also Kakashi. As she did that, the water around them rose up and formed into 1,000 icy needles. Sensatsu Susho, 1,000 flying water needles of death. Sasuke concentrated as the water needles rushed in, focusing chakra to his legs to give his own speed the boost it needed for him to dodge the attack. Just as the needles collided, both Sasuke and Haku jumped out of the way, avoiding the attack. Just as Haku landed, she was forced to jump and dodge a few shuriken aimed at her, and then Sasuke appeared behind her. Haku ducked underneath Sasuke's knife swipe, only to be kicked in the stomach by Sasuke's foot. Haku, you do realize that we'll be driven back at this rate? Asked Zabuza. We can't have that, said Haku as an icy chill filled the air around Sasuke. To Sasuke's surprise and horror, the water around him rose up and formed into a dome of ice mirrors. Hyoten. Makio Hyosho, ice release. Crystal ice mirrors. What is that jutsu? Thought Kakashi, equally as surprised as Sasuke. However, the surprises didn't end there as Haku actually stepped into the mirrors, her reflection appearing on all of them. Knowing that Sasuke was now outmatched, Kakashi moved to assist but was intercepted by his opponent, Zabuza. Against that jutsu, your brat's finished, smirked Zabuza. Back in the ice dome, shall we begin? Called out Haku from everywhere. I'll show you my real speed. Before Sasuke could even register what was said, he was assaulted by various slashes from all around. Wanting to assist, Sakura threw her knife, hoping to catch Sasuke's attacker and assist her crush. However, Haku merely reached out of the mirror and caught the kunai, only to see a shuriken appear in front of her. She quickly moved the kunai to deflect the shuriken, but it poofed into Naruto, delivering an axe kick to Haku's head and knocking her out of the mirror before dispelling, revealing it to be a clone. Now that I'm here, everything will be fine, declared Naruto out loud, clearly announcing his arrival to the world. The main character of a story usually shows up in these types of situations and instantly kicks the enemy's ass. Both Kakashi and Zabuza sweat dropped at this. That idiot. What kind of loud entrance is that? And he calls himself a ninja. Kakashi sighed. You're kidding me, right? Asked Zabuza. I wish, Kakashi said, dropping his head, causing Zabuza to laugh. Naruto launched a few shuriken towards Zabuza and Haku responded by throwing a few Senbon to deflect the shuriken. Zabuza-sama, I'll fight them, said Haku. Damn Haku. I don't want to fight you. Why can't you see that I want to help you? You don't need to be that Zabuza's tool to throw away. Thought Naruto. From inside the ice dome, Sasuke rose to his feet. Those attacks were weak. He wasn't trying to kill me, and I was only scratched. But what's with this jutsu and those mirrors? Are there clones in the mirrors? No, it's way too fast and I can't even see where they're coming from, Sasuke thought, analyzing the situation. Well, with me on the inside and Naruto on the outside. Hey, Sasuke, I came in here to save you, announced Naruto, prompting Sasuke to smack himself in the face at Naruto's stupidity. You moron. If you're a shinobi, then use your head. Why did you come inside the mirrors? You're such an idiot, shouted Sasuke. What? I come here to help you out and this is what I get, responded Naruto in full force. Back with Kakashi and Zabuza, Naruto, he comes to help and yet only makes things worse, sighed Kakashi. If I just make a shadow clone, he'll counter with water clones. If I leave Sakura and Tazuna to help, he'll just kill them. Damn, it looks like you two are on your own. For a kid to master a jutsu like that, it's a Kekkei Genkai, deduced Kakashi as he reached for his headband. Sorry but, I'm going to end this instantly. Zabuza just let out an evil grin at the sight of Kakashi's Sharingan. The Sharingan again. Is that all you can do? Immediately, Zabuza dashed at Kakashi, swinging at him with his sword, but it was a fake as Zabuza attempted to jab Kakashi with a kunai. Kakashi quickly caught the kunai. You say this is all I can do, but you're afraid of the Sharingan, Zabuza, said Kakashi. A shinobi's supreme technique is not something that should be shown to an opponent twice, mocked Zabuza. And even if you can defeat me, you won't win against Haku. Ever since she was a child, I trained her myself in the ninja arts. And her jutsu surpasses even my own, thanks to her Kekkei Genkai. Unlike you, I have a high-quality tool for myself. Kurigakure no Jutsu. Just as Zabuza announced his jutsu, the mist grew thicker than ever before and Zabuza became a demon that was hidden by the mist. Hehe, you rely on your Sharingan too much, Zabuza called out from everywhere in the mist. Immediately, Kakashi sensed an attack and deflected a number of shuriken. And then he saw him, Zabuza with closed eyes. Moments after revealing himself, Zabuza disappeared back into the mist, waiting to strike again. Kakashi waited, bracing himself for Zabuza's next strike to come. Realizing that Zabuza was a master of silent killing, Kakashi realized that Zabuza could in fact fight without his sight, so long as he could hear his targets. Moments passed, and nothing. It was then that Kakashi realized, Tazuna. Immediately, Kakashi shunshined over to where Tazuna and Sakura were, just in time to meet Zabuza's blade, but too late to block it with a kunai or another tool. As such, Kakashi had to resort to using himself and taking a hit, a moderately deep slash across his torso. Kya! Sakura screamed out upon seeing her sensei injured by Zabuza. Back in the ice dome, Naruto and Sasuke were soon assaulted with a barrage of Senbon as Haku attacked from all directions. The attacks were also proving to be more damaging than just some scratches. Haku had apparently resolved herself to fight for real now. Naruto at first was afraid to activate his dojutsu, out of fear of revealing it to Haku, but he immediately realized that he would need it in order to minimize the damage he would take in this fight. Still, Naruto already found himself taking a few Senbon to the limbs. Looking over at Sasuke, he saw his comrade was faring much worse without the aid of a dojutsu to assist him. Just a little longer, thought Naruto. Why Haku? Sasuke picked himself up off the ground just as he heard a scream echo throughout the mist. Damn it, I need to do something. This is getting bad, thought Sasuke. But, my eyes are getting accustomed to her movements. I'm aiming for critical areas, yet both of them are dodging, Haku thought. Based on my encounter with the blonde boy yesterday, Zabuza was correct in that something is up with him. It's like he can see what's coming, but he's not quite fast enough to dodge all of my attacks. But I should still be able to hit the other one. He must be slowly learning to follow my patterns. This boy can see something. Haku unleashed another round of Senbon, only for both of the boys to move out of the way of the attack. They shouldn't be able to see my attacks, not at this speed, wait. It was then that Haku saw them, dojutsus. That one kid has a Sharingan. Indeed, Sasuke's Sharingan had finally revealed itself, blazing away with 2 tomo in one eye and a single tomo in the other. I see, the Sharingan. So you are also from an advanced bloodline, however, Haku turned her attention to Naruto. I am unfamiliar with those eyes of yours. I've never seen nor heard of eyes like those. Naruto. Sasuke turned to Naruto. Hey, you're welcome Tem, replied Naruto before turning to Haku. Damn Haku. What to do? Either now everything plays out like it should and you end up dying, or I do something to get through to you that your life's worth more than just throwing it away. What to do? Time said I shouldn't try to save you, but I can't help but feeling that if I save you, it won't be the end of the world. I know inside, you're good and don't deserve to die. Fine, time can just screw with himself. I was given these powers for a reason and just sitting back as everything happens wasn't one of them. These kids, I can't fight them for much longer, thought Haku. My jutsu uses a lot of chakra, and I can't keep up this speed for much longer. I'll have to end one of them right now. But who? Haku took a quick moment to observe her 2 options, concluding that it would be best to take out the one who had taken more damage and was more likely to take the attack, Sasuke. Haku gathered up a good amount of her chakra left and dashed out of the mirrors towards Sasuke. However, Naruto had realized what was happening. From the vision, Sasuke and Naruto had swapped places in who was being targeted. It all happened in the blink of an eye. Sasuke saw himself the target of Haku's next attack and unable to move in time due to the Senbon sticking out of his legs. The next thing he knew, Naruto had moved in front of him, taking the attack as a few Senbon now stuck through his neck. Naruto. Why? Asked Sasuke, unable to believe what he could see. Because I wasn't about to let any of my friends die, spoke Naruto. And besides, I think it's about time we bring this match to an end. With a last grin on his face, Naruto dropped to the ground, disappearing in a puff of smoke. What? Shadow clone, thought a surprised Sasuke and Haku. So he had a plan all along. Tisk. Well, as he said, looks like it's time to finish this, thought Sasuke. As he went through some hand seals, Haku immediately jumped backwards to avoid the impending jutsu. Kaden. Gokaku no Jutsu. Haku was able to make it into the mirror just in time to escape the fireball. When the flames died down, the mirror remained standing. Now Haku was running out of options. The time she could sustain the jutsu was running low, and with only one opponent entrapped and another who knows where, she couldn't let this match go on any longer. She would have to hope that this next attack was enough to take out Sasuke. Just as Haku left the mirror, a kunai flew in front of her. It appeared as if it was going to miss, but just as it was in front of her face, the kunai transformed into Naruto, who immediately grabbed onto Haku and threw her out of the dome. Moments after she left the dome, it came crumbling down in a hail of ice as the chakra to sustain it was no longer being supplied. Within moments, Naruto and a few of his clones were on top of Haku, pinning her to the ground. I said I wouldn't let my friends die, and that includes you too, Naruto said to Haku as he pulled his mask off her face. I don't get why you can't accept the fact that your life is worth more than just simply throwing it away. While I still am unsure as to what you're talking about, it appears as if I've been beaten, said Haku. For her, she was at her end, with almost no chakra left, while she could feel this boy's chakra was still running strong. She would not be able to overpower him in this situation. I've been defeated and Zabuza-sama has no use for a weak tool. Smack. Naruto's hand hit Haku across the face, leaving a red imprint of a hand on the side. Stop it. You're not a tool. You're a person, and a good person too. Naruto, Sasuke called out as he made his way over to the blonde. What's going on? I'll explain later, said Naruto, flaring his eyes to Sasuke to give the Uchiha a hint. I see, replied Sasuke before falling to his knees. Damn, these needles hurt. Back with Kakashi. The copy ninja was having trouble finding Zabuza in this mist, even with his Sharingan. The mist was too concentrated for his gifted dojutsu to see clearly, and to make matters worse, he now had a large bleeding gash across his chest. I'm going to have to end things here. I don't know how Naruto and Sasuke are holding up, and I don't want to risk their safety anymore, thought Kakashi as he pulled out a scroll from his vest. Kakashi smeared some blood on the scroll before slamming it into the ground. Kuchiyos. Doden. Suiga no Jutsu. Summoning. Earth release. Tracking Fang technique. Hehe. Whatever you do is useless, Kakashi, Zabuza laughed through the mist. You can't figure out where I am, but I know exactly where you are. You are trapped by my jutsu. Suddenly, Zabuza heard some sort of growling coming from around him, and then a stinging pain shot through his legs as he felt the jaws of a dog clamp onto his ankle. Zabuza's eyes shot open to see what was going on, but all he saw were a number of dogs jumping upon him. Before Zabuza could even react, there were 8 dogs digging their teeth and claws into Zabuza's flesh. That's what happens when you have your eyes shut in the mist, said Kakashi as he walked towards Zabuza through the thinning mist. This summoning is specifically designed for tracking down an opponent. I let my blood spill twice on purpose, explained Kakashi. These are my cute ninja hounds. They were easily able to find you from the scent of my blood on your blade. You are the one trapped in my jutsu, and the mist is clearing. Your future is death. My future is death. I'm sick of your bullshit, swore Zabuza. Don't be foolish. There's nothing you can do in this situation. You will die here. You went too far, Zabuza, said Kakashi. Your ambition was too great. You abandoned your country and became a missing nin. Both your attempted coup d'etat and attempted assassination of the Mizukage failed. You needed money and to avoid the hunter nins, so you attached yourself to a lowly piece of scum like Gato. Kakashi flipped through a few more hand seals and grabbed the wrist of his right hand with his left. Suddenly, chakra sparked and crackled around Kakashi. Reikiri, lightning blade. Zabuza eyed the crackling chakra in Kakashi's hand with a look of horror. You are too dangerous. Tazuna-san, who you're trying to kill, is this country's courage. I cannot allow him to die. I don't give a damn, I'll fight Gore my own ideals, and that shall continue. Declared Zabuza. I'll ask once more, surrender, said Kakashi. Zabuza merely chuckled. Never. Letting out a sigh, Kakashi resolved himself for the kill before charging forward with his one original jutsu, set on piercing Zabuza's heart. Back with Naruto. The blonde time user was getting nowhere with Haku. Damn it. What do I need to do to get you to see that your life is more than giving it to this Zabuza-tem? Shouted Naruto. However, Naruto saw as something snapped to Haku's attention and the blonde's eye kicked into full gear as he saw Haku's death, again. Trying desperately to stop Haku from making the ice mirror, Naruto rushed to tackle Haku and prevent her from giving herself up like that. Before Naruto could make it though, Haku had disappeared into a mirror of ice. No, gasped Naruto before looking in the direction where Kakashi was. Haku, stop, shouted Naruto before he ran towards where Kakashi was about to kill Haku instead of Zabuza. As Naruto ran through the mist, what he saw when things came into view shocked him the most. There stood Kakashi, Zabuza, and Haku. Kakashi was just about to jab Zabuza with his lightning blade, Zabuza was being held in place by numerous dogs, and Haku was preparing herself to take the blow for Zabuza. But they were all frozen there, even the Senbon that Haku had thrown just hung there in midair. What? Stuttered Naruto. What also caught Naruto's attention was a bit of the mist that appeared to be shifting and taking on the form of the mysterious time. What's going on? Naruto asked, hoping for an answer. It appears as if you've decided to go against what I warned you against, spoke the misty figure of time. Why is everything frozen? Shouted Naruto. It looks as if you've passed the test, said Time. What are you talking about? Test? Asked a now confused Naruto. Yes. A test of your resolve. Would you allow things to play out like they were meant to, or would you embrace your gift and the powers associated with it, explained Time. That was the test. And from the looks of it, you've chosen to embrace your gift and try to change things. As such, you've passed the test and unlocked the next ability of your bloodline, Jiken no Tishi, halting of time jutsu. Jiken no Tishi? Asked a now curious Naruto. Yes, it will become one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. However, for now I suspect you will only be able to pause time for a short duration, maybe 5 seconds at most, although that duration will increase as you develop, said Time. Wait, 5 seconds? But time's been stopped for more than 5 seconds, said Naruto. That is because I am the one pausing time right now and my limit is much more than 5 seconds, spoke Time. Once I leave, then you will have 5 seconds to do what you must to try and save the girl's life. Also, time will resume should you move an object that's frozen. Now, I should mention this to you, that whenever you use this jutsu, there is an interval you must wait before you can use it again. Interval? Asked Naruto. How long are we talking? For every second that you pause time, you must wait 5 seconds for the flow of time to resume its normal flow, explained Time. That means that should you pause time for the full 5 seconds of your current limit, you must wait 25 seconds before using that jutsu again. And in your world, 25 seconds is a long time. Hold on, I thought last time though you said if I decided to change what I saw, there would be unforeseeable consequences, and the flow of time would destabilize, said Naruto. Yes, I did say that last time. And yes, should you save the girl, the flow of time will destabilize. But it will eventually re-stabilize, spoke time. This will be something that you will notice, but should you change an event, you will notice that you won't be able to use your Shoryuken to see more than a few minutes into the future for some time. This is because the flow of time hasn't fully re-stabilized and the near future is still unpredictable. But you just said that the flow will re-stabilize. How long are we talking? Asked Naruto. I would say maybe a few weeks, perhaps a few months or even a year depending on the severity of the change. However, I doubt you would be without your ability to see further into the future for no more than 3 weeks if you save the girl, spoke time. So if I make any sort of noticeable change to this timeline thing, I won't be able to use my Sharingan for a certain period of time. Asked Naruto. Yes and no. You will still have the few seconds of foresight when using it in combat, but you won't be able to look into the future like you have been, said time. And the severity of the change will determine how long you won't be able to see. However, even I can't tell how big of an impact a certain change will have. I think I get it now, kind of, said Naruto. So I have 5 seconds to get Haku out of the line of Kakashi-sensei's attack. Yes, said time. Are you ready? I am, spoke Naruto, determined to make sure the young ice user didn't die on the bridge. The moment I touch Haku, time resumes. Kakashi-sensei is too close to Haku and I don't think I could move her in time. I think my only chance is to stop Kakashi-sensei. I will see you again in time, Naruto. Your 5 seconds starts, now. As soon as time began Naruto's timer, the blonde was immediately off towards Kakashi. His target was his sensei's arm, wanting to knock the Reikiri out of the path of impaling Haku, but he also had to block the Senbon that Naruto had foreseen were headed towards Kakashi's scroll that he had summoned his dogs with. Naruto already knew the path he would have to make as he jumped towards Kakashi's arm, knocking the Senbon out of the way with his head and restarting time. As soon as the top of his head made contact with the side of the Senbon, everything that was frozen instantly began to move again. What? Naruto, said an utterly shocked Kakashi as his blonde student tackled his arm, just above the Reikiri and knocked Kakashi's jutsu aside before he tumbled to the ground next to the battle. Everyone watching just looked at the blonde who had instantly materialized out of thin air. Sorry Kakashi-sensei, but I couldn't let you kill them, apologized Naruto. It was then that Kakashi saw Haku standing in front of Zabuza. Haku especially was too shocked to even move, but Zabuza's surprise quickly turned to laughter. Haha Kakashi, I'm destined to die. Even your own student doesn't seem to agree with you, mocked the demon of the hidden mist. Naruto, what happened? Asked Kakashi. Why did you save Zabuza? I don't care what happens to Zabuza, but I couldn't let you kill Haku, said Naruto as he turned to the still shocked Kunoichi. I know how you feel. I know what it's like to be all alone, what it's like to be without a purpose or someone precious. I know what it's like to just want to give up. It's unbearable. You look for the first person who will even acknowledge you, regardless of who that person is. I'm sorry, I know you were ready to give your life up for Zabuza, but I couldn't let you. I couldn't let one of my precious people die. Haku only stared at the blonde, eyes widened. He wasn't lying and she could clearly see it in her eyes. Sakura was the next one to come to her senses. Naruto, where's Sasuke-kun? She asked as Naruto pointed over towards a limping figure coming through the mist. It was Sasuke, sore and injured from the needles through his legs, but nothing that would kill him. Suddenly, a truly evil laugh came through the mist. Ooh, you're getting your ass kicked, called out a smug little voice. Everyone turned their attention to the newcomer to the fray. As the remaining mist dissipated, everyone saw a short man with a sinister grin plastered on his face and about 100 goons and thugs armed with all sorts of sharp and/or pointy objects. Gato, why the hell are you here? Growled Zabuza. He, the plan has changed, snickered Gato. Well, actually I planned on doing this from the beginning. Zabuza, I'm going to have you killed here. What? Growled Zabuza. I never planned on paying you any money anyways, admitted Zabuza. Hiring a normal ninja from the village is expensive and they may betray me. So I hire missing nins who are easier to take care of afterwards. I have the ninjas battle each other and once they're weakened, I kill them off with numbers. Doesn't cost anything, so it's a good plan, I say. The only problem in the plan was you, Zabuza. The demon of the hidden mist. What a joke if you ask me. Hee hee, you're just a cute little baby demon. All of Gato's thugs just laughed. We can easily kill you now. Kill them all, ordered Gato. Although, leave the girls alive. The pink-haired girl will make some good money on the market after she's trained a bit and I've got some personal business to settle with the other bitch. What was that, you bastard? Growled Naruto before he began to run towards Gato and his thugs. Naruto. Look at their numbers, advised Kakashi as he caught Naruto by the collar. Don't just jump in there. Kakashi, this fight's over, said Zabuza. Release me from these hounds and I'll do you the favor of removing Gato's head from his stubbly little body myself. Besides, I won't let anyone talk like that about Haku. Oh, so now you care about her? Shouted Naruto. Shut it, brat. I know I used Haku as a tool. In the world of shinobi, there are only those who use and those who are used. We are shinobi, and as shinobi, we are nothing more than tools. I originally took Haku for her bloodline, not her, to use her as my tool. However, over the years with her, she became more than just a tool to me. The truth is, she's more of a daughter. Say I don't care for her again and I'll rip that smug little mouth clean off your face, said Zabuza, silencing Naruto. So how about it, Kakashi? Fine, said Kakashi as he called his dogs off. Zabuza was still sore from the numerous dog bites, but he was still able to wield his sword. Zabuza grabbed his oversized blade and quickly dashed towards Gato's army. Like the scared little coward he was, Gato ducked behind his human shield as his thugs prepared for some fun. However, once Zabuza got close, he flared a sizable amount of killing intent, scaring the crap out of many of Gato's thugs. Once in the middle of the fray, and with a single swipe of the sword, over a dozen of Gato's hired goons dropped to the ground, drowning in their own blood. The demon of the hidden mist then glared towards Gato, scaring the smug tyrant shitless. With his way to Gato now clear, Zabuza slowly and calmly walked towards the small businessman, unopposed by the frightened thugs. You want to know something, Gato? You weren't the only one who planned on killing someone, grinned Zabuza. Once I was done with my job, I was planning on killing you, and guess what? My job is done seeing that you called it off. So guess what? You can go to hell, you smug little bastard. You were looking for a demon. Well, I'm certain there are dozens just waiting for a pathetic excuse where you're going. With that, Zabuza swung his sword at Gato's neck, easily cleaving through the tissue connecting Gato's head to his body. The short stump of a body that Gato had fell to its knees and his head rolled off the shoulders. Gato was dead. Damn you, ninja. You killed our meal ticket. Shouted one of thugs before they all went in a panicked frenzy, attacking any ninja in sight. However, they were stopped in their tracks as a barrage of arrows landed at their feet. Standing at the other end of the bridge, were the villagers of Nami no Kuni, led by none other than Inari. Inari, shouted Naruto. Hey, a hero always shows up at the last minute, right? Grinned Inari. Naruto smiled back. Okay, I can help out. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. About 24 Narutos appeared along with the army of Nami villagers. My chakra's running low after using the Sharingan, summoning, and Reikiri, but I can at least do that, thought Kakashi. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. 10 Kakashis suddenly appeared next to the army of Narutos and villagers. Adding just a little more, Mizu Bunshin no Jutsu. Joining the fray were 6 Zabuza water clones. If Gato's thugs weren't sweating before, they were freaking out now. Let's get out of here, shouted one of the thugs as they all hightailed it out of there. We did it, cheered the villagers. As Zabuza, Naruto and Kakashi regrouped with the rest of the ninja. Haku had just finished removing the Senbon from Sasuke's body, and already the young Uchiha was noticing a return in feeling and mobility. Naruto, you and I need to talk once we get back to the house, said Kakashi. Naruto sighed. He had seen that coming. I know Kakashi-sensei. So what are you going to do, Zabuza? Asked Kakashi. In all honesty, I don't know. Both of won't be able to move real well for a few days, said Zabuza. Hey Kakashi-sensei, do you think they could come back to Konoha with us? Asked Naruto. Hey, you really are a naive brat, laughed Zabuza. But I'll consider the offer. It honestly would be nice to stop running from the hunter nins. Later that night, after much celebrating, Kakashi had taken his team out to the isolated clearing near Tazuna's house. So today was certainly an interesting day, wouldn't you say? Asked Kakashi. I see you unlocked your Sharingan, Sasuke. Sasuke nodded and then turned to Naruto. Did you know? I did. I found out that you would get your Sharingan the day before. But I thought if I told you, things might change and you wouldn't have gotten it, said Naruto. Yeah, but couldn't you have at least warned me about the needles? I'm still sore, Dobi. Sorry, apologized Naruto. Whatever, said Sasuke. I've got my Sharingan and you said it could have been much worse, so it's fine. And now that I have my Sharingan, Itachi, your days are numbered. On that note, what happened on the bridge, Naruto? I didn't even see you move, asked Kakashi. Naruto knew this was what Kakashi was going to ask him, and he was prepared to tell Kakashi what had happened on the bridge. A new ability, eh? And it sounds like a pretty powerful one too, said Kakashi. Yeah, but it's only 5 seconds for now, said Naruto. Yes, but in our world, 5 seconds is a lot of time, said Kakashi. You'd be surprised what you can do in 5 seconds. And Naruto, said Kakashi. Next time you plan on doing something like what you did, let me know. Perhaps I can help. I may not be able to predict the future, but I know how the shinobi world works and I may be able to offer some insight. I will, Kakashi-sensei. Thank you, and I'm sorry about earlier, said Naruto. Now, we'll be here for another week or so to recover and help Tazuna-san with the completion of the bridge. With Gato gone, Tazuna-san should be able to work on it all day and without any interruption. However, there are still some remnants of Gato's organization around the island and we may face an attack or two by a few of his bandits, said Kakashi. Now, I've sent word to the village for an Anbu team to come and clean up Gato's mess. There are certain things that just aren't meant for your eyes. Kakashi sent a look towards Sakura and immediately she knew Kakashi was talking about some sort of sex slave operation Gato was running. He was right, that wasn't something she'd want to see. Sakura merely shivered at the thought. The rest of the week proceeded with much work and celebrations. During the day, much of the village was busy doing what they could to either assist Tazuna on the bridge or something else that would help get their country back on its feet. During the evening, the villagers did what they could to celebrate their liberation from Gato's tyrannical grasp. By the end of the week, Tazuna's bridge was complete, providing a permanent link between the island nation of Nami no Kuni and the mainland, Hai no Kuni. Already, the village itself was showing signs of improvement as various stores showed increase in items on their shelves, homes were finally seeing much needed repairs, and the villagers themselves had their hopes and dreams returning to them. A few days earlier, an Anbu team from Konoha arrived and began to dismantle the remnants of Gato's organization. The amount of drugs and smuggled weapons they found were beyond belief, but what truly was disgusting was the human trafficking operation that was located on the island. Hopefully now, with the elimination of Gato, there would be some form of closure for his victims. To the benefit of everyone, Gato's vast fortune was uncovered on the island, with Konoha taking just enough to pay for the missions that Nami had commissioned, with the rest of his fortune going to help jumpstart the economy of the island. Now, a week after the hope of Nami had been restored, its heroes stood at the gate to the newly constructed bridge, ready to depart back to their homes. So have you made a decision on what you're going to do, Zabuza? Asked Kakashi. I have. As gracious as your offer was, I must decline, said Zabuza. I have just received word from a close associate of mine that the rebellion against the Mizukage is regaining steam. So you intend to finish what you started? Asked a questioning Kakashi. Kakashi, the Mizukage is a tyrant just as bad as Gato. He is responsible for so much violence and death that spread across the country. The rebellion wasn't for any sort of personal gain, but rather to protect something I hold dear to me, said Zabuza. Kakashi took the hint and looked over towards Haku, who was with the genin of Team 7. I see, said Kakashi as he raised an eyebrow. Then you can understand, I hope, replied Zabuza. I think so, replied Kakashi. If you don't mind me asking, who is your acquaintance? Her name is Terumi Mei, said Zabuza. She took over for me when I was forced to flee. I've heard that name before, Kakashi said, intrigued. Kakashi, I want to ask a favor of you. I've already talked to Haku about this, but I want you to take her back to Konoha with you. Let her live her life away from the hunter nins and the violence, Zabuza asked. She said she wants to join your ninja forces. So long as she's happy, I'm fine. Will we see you again? Kakashi asked. Once Kurigakure is secure and free of Yagura's tyranny, I'll visit Konoha to see how Haku's doing, said Zabuza. Very well. I shall inform the Hokage of this development, said Kakashi. One last thing, said Zabuza eyeing Naruto. What the hell is up with that orange brat of yours? That's something that I wouldn't even tell your dead corpse, said Kakashi sternly. What Naruto's abilities are none of your concern. Fair enough. It was worth a try though, shrugged Zabuza before turning to Haku. Haku, I am leaving now. I want you to go with these ninja to Konoha and live your life for yourself. I want you to be happy and not have to worry about running. And don't worry, once I have finished my business in Kurigakure, I will come and see you. I understand, and thank you, Haku said. Otusan. Zabuza then proceeded to pull Naruto off to the side. If I come back and find that you've hurt Haku, I'll decapitate your other head and force you to eat it and die choking on it. Naruto just looked at the demon of the hidden mist in utter confusion, having absolutely no idea why Zabuza was talking to him like that, but still for some reason couldn't help but feel like he had just been warned. With that last threat, Zabuza disappeared, leaving Haku in the care of her newest precious people. An interesting mission you most certainly had, addressed the Hokage to Team 7. I still think you should have returned to the village, but in the end, everything worked out for the best. Gato is dead, Nami no Kuni is freed from a tyrant, and your team has appeared to have grown much stronger as a result of the experience. I agree, Hokage-sama. Even though the mission never should have happened in the first place, I feel as if it was a good way to introduce my team to the true nature of the shinobi world, said Kakashi. And it appears as if you've brought a guest back with you, said the Sandaime as he turned his attention towards Haku. And who may this be? Hello, Hokage-sama, Haku bowed. I'm Yuki Haku. Ah yes, the apprentice of Momoichi Zabuza, demon of the hidden mist, spoke Hiruzen. And if you don't mind me asking, what are your intentions in this village? I came here looking for a new beginning and, I was hoping, to join your village's shinobi ranks, said Haku. Well, I don't see that being much a problem, so long as those are your true intentions, questioned Hiruzen. What are you talking about, Gigi? Haku's a good person. She wouldn't mean to harm the village, Naruto defended his newest friend. Naruto, hushed Kakashi. While that may be, realize this is still a shinobi village. Haku here may not have any records as a shinobi and as such she has a clean slate amongst the villages, however, I am not going to be blindly extending an open arm to anyone, said Hiruzen. What is it you ask of me to prove my loyalty? Requested Haku. Simply submit to a mental evaluation. That should clear up any gray areas regarding your intentions to join the village. If everything passes, then I see no problems with allowing you to apply for citizenship and to join our ranks, said Hiruzen. Do you agree to my terms? If it means being able to start a new life with my friends, then yes, said Haku. Excellent, smiled the Hokage before motioning to an Anbu in the room. A cat-masked Anbu appeared in front of Hiruzen's desk. Neko, please escort Miss Yuki to Yamanaka Santa in the interrogation department. Neko turned to Haku with an intrigued look. Please follow me, and don't try anything. Haku nodded and remained on guard as she followed the purple-haired Anbu. Kakashi-sensei, why does it seem like they're treating Haku-chan like a... Naruto struggled to find the words. Like a foreigner. Finished Kakashi. Because she is. This is how a shinobi village operates. Naruto, spoke Hiruzen. I know what you're thinking. While we welcome the addition of new talent to the village, it is also my job as Hokage to be on the lookout for any spies that may try and steal our secrets or sabotage our operations. But Haku-chan's not a spy. Returned Naruto. I'm not saying she is. But as Hokage, it is my duty to help keep the village safe, both from outside threats and those inside. I'm just being cautious, said the Hokage. If you think she's true Naruto, then just wait a few hours for the evaluation to conclude. If everything checks out, she'll be free and allowed to join the village in no time, said Kakashi. I should have the results in about 3 hours if any of you want to stop by later, said Hiruzen. Now, I would like a word with Kakashi. Naruto, Sakura, Sasuke, you are dismissed. Why don't you three go to Ichiraku? I'll be there shortly, said Kakashi. Alright, Kakashi-sensei's treating us to ramen. Exclaimed Naruto. Really? Thanks Kakashi-sensei, chirped Sakura. Kakashi simply waved them off, however he could feel the money drain out of his wallet and into that bottomless pit of a stomach Naruto had. Now Kakashi, is it true? Does she have the Hyoten bloodline? Asked Hiruzen with great interest. It is, sir, confirmed Kakashi. I see. Then let us hope everything goes well. The last of the true ice users would certainly be a great boon for this village, said Hiruzen. Now, even I believe that everything will check out for our young friend. In that case, I would like to ask something of you. You want me to take her on my team, said Kakashi, receiving a nod from Hiruzen. But I already have 3 students to train. I am aware of that, and while normal teams consist of no more than 4 squad members, it is not unknown to have a team of 5, said Hiruzen. Besides, I feel that since your team is already acquainted with Yuki-san, I believe that is where she would be the most comfortable. Kakashi sighed. Sadly I do agree with you, and I must be honest, she has taken a liking towards Naruto. Oh, did someone mention something about my godson and a girl? Sigh. Can't you use the door, Jiraiya? Sighed Hiruzen as Konoha's one and thankfully only super pervert hopped into the office. Well I would have if you hadn't demanded I get back here ASAP. I was almost done with my next book when I received your summons. Argued Jiraiya. It truly is going to be the next literary masterpiece. I apologize Jiraiya, but what I summoned you here for is more important than Ika. Both Kakashi and Jiraiya looked at the aging Hokage like he had just sprouted a second head. Jiraiya then sighed. Alright sensei, what do you have this time? Do you remember that bloodline that we were hoping would awaken in Minato when he was still young? Asked Sarutobi. Yeah, it's probably the biggest reason why you worked your ass off to get the last remnants of the Namikaze clan here in Konoha. While being able to see into the future is nice, I don't see the point of going to such lengths to obtain a bloodline that only appears once a millennia, even if now is around the time it should be manifesting itself, said Jiraiya. It doesn't only grant the wielder to see into the future, corrected Kakashi. It also allows the user the ability to manipulate time itself. Such as freeze time. Hold on. No offense Kakashi, but why are you here? Asked Jiraiya. I thought the existence of the Jikiden bloodline was to remain top secret with Sensei and myself being the only 2 aware of it. That was the case, until my student just so happened to awaken that bloodline, said Kakashi. Jiraiya's eyes widened in disbelief. No shit. Naruto has the Jikiden. He does, replied Sarutobi. Naruto, slow down. You're going to get sick, warned Sakura as Naruto just finished inhaling his sixth bowl of ramen while Sakura and Sasuke were barely halfway done with their first. But it's ramen, mumbled Naruto with a mouthful of noodles. Sakura just sighed in defeat. Yo! Everyone turned to see Kakashi enter the ramen stand, and the first thing the one-eyed Jonin saw was the stack of bowls by Naruto. He could already feel his wallet strangling him to death. Kakashi-sensei, what did the Hokage want with you? Asked Sakura. Oh, he just wanted to know a few more details about the mission and such, said Kakashi. Speaking of which, is there any word about Haku-chan? Asked Naruto. Naruto, it hasn't even been 30 minutes, said Kakashi. But can't they speed it up already? Blurted out Naruto. Kakashi merely sighed. Why don't we go and train for a bit? There's something I want to start to work on with Sakura, and both you and Sasuke could use the practice fighting with your eyes. Besides, it'll help pass time. And save what's left of my paycheck. Minutes later, Team 7 found themselves at their regular training ground. Right. Now Naruto, you and Sasuke, I want to spar while using your eyes. It'll help both of you get used to the predictive abilities associated with both of your eyes, said Kakashi as Naruto and Sasuke both nodded and went off to a separate area of the training ground to spar. Now as for you, Sakura, I have something special in mind. Naruto and Sasuke both have you bested in terms of stamina and chakra reserves, said Kakashi. Sakura actually seemed a bit deflated by this. However, your smaller reserves have resulted in a much greater degree of chakra control, so much so that you were able to pass the water walking and tree climbing exercises within the first 5 minutes of beginning the exercise, something not seen since Tsunade Senju. This leads me to believe that there are two different fields that you can excel at, genjutsu and medical ninjutsu. I have little to no knowledge in medical jutsus, although I can get you a book on that if you want, but I can teach you the basics of genjutsu. Wow, really? Exclaimed Sakura, excited by the prospect of genjutsu. But what about Sasuke-kun? Or Naruto? Don't worry that, I'll train them as well, but right now I need to get them more accustomed to using their dojutsus in battle. That is why I'm having the two of them spar each other, although, Kakashi glanced over towards Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto, already able to see Sasuke's moves with his Sharingan, wasn't finding it hard to predict Sasuke's attacks, however he was starting to get a bit frustrated with Sasuke being able to read his own attacks and react accordingly. With Sasuke's recent acquisition of the Sharingan, the advantage Naruto had in a taijutsu spar was severely dampened. Damn it, Tem. Let me hit you, shouted Naruto, causing Kakashi to sweat drop. What's the matter, Dobi? Now that you're up against someone who can read moves just as well as you can foresee them, and I thought there was more to that so-called fabled bloodline of yours, taunted Sasuke. Sasuke's taunt got through to Naruto and Sasuke received a swift kick to the gut, compliments of Naruto. The blonde had been standing at least 5 meters away from Sasuke and had disappeared from his original position and immediately reappeared with his foot in Sasuke's gut. Bet your Sharingan didn't see that coming, Tem. Retorted Naruto. Damn it, Dobi. This is supposed to be taijutsu only. Shouted Sasuke. Last I checked, that time-freezing jutsu was considered ninjutsu. Kakashi and Sakura just decided it would be best to ignore their teammates' antics. I really do need to teach Naruto how to use that jutsu properly. If that was a real battle against an enemy ninja, Naruto could have been able to kill his opponent right there, thought Kakashi. However, when it came down to it, Naruto really wasn't the killer type. Now that he thought about it, he should have had his team make their first kill against some of Gato's thugs. While he didn't enjoy killing himself, Kakashi knew it was a necessity in the ninja world to kill your enemies and those who threaten everything precious to you. This was one lesson he'd have to teach his team sooner or later. And if Kakashi's suspicions were correct, He'd have 2 months to prepare them for the realities of the ninja world before it was truly required of them. Kakashi continued on, giving Sakura a general rundown on genjutsu and even provided her with a scroll on a basic genjutsu, Megan, Kokoni Arazu no Jutsu, demonic illusion, false surroundings technique. He instructed her to work on it during her own time. However, the prospect of training on her own was something Sakura sadly was reluctant to do. She'd rather spend the time daydreaming over Sasuke. Later that afternoon, finally the time had come to hear the verdict on Haku's evaluation. After an entire 4 hours of rigorous sparring with Sasuke, the rest of Team 7 couldn't help but just stare as the blonde darted towards the Hokage's tower. How he had that much energy left in him was a mystery. Well, Kakashi had a pretty good idea. Gigi! Shouted Naruto as he burst through the door, only to find 3 Anbu on the left side of the room with Haku bound in shackles, and the mood of the room was entirely grim. What's going on? Gigi! Why is Haku-chan in chains? I'm sorry Naruto-kun, sighed Haku as she lowered her head. Something came up during the investigation, Naruto. We have discovered that Haku here is in reality an assassin sent to infiltrate the village and assassinate me, said the Hokage. As such, Haku will be imprisoned until such time that she will be executed. Naruto looked at the Hokage, who had the most serious look on his face anyone present had ever seen, hoping for some respite. There was no way Haku could be an assassin. Naruto just froze, at a complete loss of words before chuckling was heard behind one of the Anbu masks. I'm sorry Hokage-sama, but I can't hold it any longer, said the tiger-masked male Anbu with short brown hair before he and the remainder of the Anbu burst out into laughter. Huh? Asked a very confused Naruto as he noticed both the Hokage and Haku were laughing as well. Oh, you should have seen the look on your face, laughed one of the Anbu. That's what you get for putting itching powder in our pants and gluing our kunai to our hands, smirked another Anbu underneath their mask. That was not a pretty day at all. The Anbu had the strong urge to scratch the itch in their crotch regions, however the kunai stuck to their hands forced them to suffer though the entire day without being able to relieve the itch. That was defiantly not a pretty day at all. Hokage-sama, bowed Kakashi as the rest of Team 7 entered into the office, just in time to catch the end of the ANBU's prank. It took another 10 minutes for Naruto to break from his stupor. So Haku-chan is. Everything looks good for Haku, smiled the Hokage as the shackles were released on the ice-wielding kunoichi. Now, about the matter of Haku joining the village ranks. Unfortunately, because you have no formal shinobi training, the best I am able to do is grant you the rank of genin. Furthermore, all the current teams are filled, so I have decided to add you as a 5th member to a team that is already in existence. I understand, Hokage-sama. If I may ask, who is my team? Haku bowed. They are actually in this room, said Hiruzen. Haku turned to see Kakashi waving in a surprised look upon Naruto's, Sakura's, and Sasuke's, well, as surprised as Sasuke could get faces. I have already discussed this with Kakashi and he has agreed to take you on as a 4th student. This goes against norms, but I feel as if Team Kakashi is the best place for you, young lady. Now, I'll leave you all to get acquainted with one another, said the Hokage. In fact, I've got something I wish to discuss with Kakashi. Why don't you call it a day and give Haku a tour of the village? Haku, please stop by later this evening and I'll have some form of living arrangement made up for you. Sasuke-kun, do you want to, perhaps we could go and get something to eat, asked Sakura. No, I've gotta go train. Later, waved Sasuke as he walked away to go and do Sasuke stuff. A dejected Sakura slumped off, tempted to follow her crush. Hey wait, I thought we were going to show Haku around the village, shouted Naruto. There was no response as his teammates went their separate ways. Well, it looks like it's just us, Haku, huh? Yo, Naruto, waved Choji with the rest of his team following closely behind. It wasn't too hard for Naruto to figure out where they were going as Barb Q was in the direction Team 10 was walking. Huh, who's your friend? Asked Shikamaru curiously. Oh hey guys. This is Haku. She just recently became a ninja of the village and was put on my team, said Naruto, introducing his new friend. The mentioning of Haku being added to Sasuke's team immediately fanned Ino's fire, and the blonde Kunoichi shot Haku a glare that could freeze even the ice user. There was no way she was going to have one more girl competing for Sasuke's attention. Well, why don't the two of you join us then at barbecue? Offered Asuma. I think it'd be a great way to welcome Haku here to the village. As Naruto, Haku, and Team 10 cheered and walked towards barbecue, a pair of pale lavender eyes peered out of a nearby alleyway. Who is Naruto-kun's new friend? And why is Naruto-kun so happy to be around her? Oh no, she couldn't be. Hinata immediately jumped to the worst-case scenario, that Haku was somehow Naruto's girlfriend, although the blonde was simply just being friendly and even more oblivious than a rock when it came to love, romance, relationships, and anything having to deal with the fairer sex. The Hokage's office. What is it you wanted to talk about, Hokage-sama? Asked Kakashi. Kakashi, as you are probably aware, the Chunin exams will be coming to Konoha in 2 months, said Hiruzen. But Hokage-sama, they've only been a team for no more than 2 months already, and with the addition of Haku, responded Kakashi. I am aware of that. However, with your report from your most recent mission, it appears as if your team is coming together rather well. And besides, all of them are rather fond of our newest Kunoichi, said Hiruzen. I do not think you will find a problem with the balance of the team. That's not the issue, sir. I'm worried that they aren't ready for something like the Chunin exams, said Kakashi. They're too soft. Well, it's your job as their sensei to teach them the ninja ways, even the darker side of the profession, said Hiruzen. Ultimately, the choice as to whether or not they will enter is yours, but I would like you to take an honest try at readying them. Much of the village is excited to see the Uchiha's skill, and I would also imagine the revelation that this village has gained a new and powerful bloodline will certainly entice clients to choose our services. New and powerful bloodline? Are you talking about Naruto or Haku? Asked Kakashi. Hiruzen thought for a moment. Well, both I guess. Although I would still prefer to remain quiet on the resurgence of the Jikiden. I'll give you and your team a light mission load over the next few weeks, giving you plenty of time to train them appropriately. I also understand the other Jonin are interested in their teams participating. This would be the first time in 5 years that rookies are in the Chunin exams, wouldn't that be interesting? It would, but, now Kakashi, I know what you may be feeling about them rushing into the exams, but didn't you make the rank of Chunin at the age of 6? Only half the age that your team is, said Hiruzen. Again, the choice is entirely yours, but the expectations on this most recent group of genin are high, and I would certainly like to see if any of them can rise to the occasion. Over 5 weeks had passed since Kakashi's meeting with the Hokage regarding the upcoming Chunin exams, and the Hokage had strongly suggested to Kakashi that his team take the Chunin exams. It had also been 2 weeks since Team 7 became a 5-man squad with the addition of Haku. The ice user had been quickly integrated into the team, seeing as everyone had a chance to get to know the girl back in the wave. Over those 2 weeks, Kakashi had taken the time refining what his team already knew. He was able to complete the training he begun with Naruto and Sasuke, and both were able to use the full version of the Shunshin no Jutsu. They still weren't quite proficient with it in combat, but they had the basis of using chakra to enhance their movements down. With enough coaxing, Kakashi had managed to get Sakura to progress on her genjutsu training, having mastered the jutsu he had given her. Given Sakura's chakra control and keen mind, it was actually rather easy for her, but the hardest part was motivating her to do something other than fawn over Uchiha teammate. Both Naruto and Sasuke had become more accustomed to using their eyes in combat, and Sasuke had even gained the second tomo on both of his eyes thanks to the continuous usage of them. Just one more Tomo and Sasuke's Sharingan would have matured fully and Kakashi could train his student how to use the hypnotic effect to influence his opponent's moves, giving Sasuke a pseudo-foresight. Speaking of foresight, Naruto found that he still wasn't quite able to see more than a few hours into the future as it appeared the flow of time was still trying to re-establish itself. However, the fact that he could actually see into the future outside of his combat foresight told him that it wouldn't be much longer before he had the full abilities of the Sharingan back. Other than that, most of that time was spent refining what his team knew and improving their physical condition. He was beginning to see that in his students as both Naruto and Sasuke were beginning to show a little more muscle tone. As of now, Kakashi was with his team once again for their morning training session. He had not even mentioned the Chunin exams yet, and to the rest of his team, they just thought these workouts were their normal routine. Of course, they were nowhere near as strenuous as those of a certain green beast, but still. For the past few nights, Kakashi had been seriously debating whether or not to begin his students on elemental manipulation, considering both Haku and Sasuke were both familiar with the subject. He knew the road to mastering their own respective elements would take time, much more time than he had until the start of the exams, but that didn't mean he couldn't give them each a simple elemental jutsu to start out with. Kakashi went over the explanation on how to discover what your main element was and handed each of his students a piece of chakra paper. Naruto went first, his paper splitting into two. Well, it looks like you have wind, Naruto, smiled Kakashi. Sasuke raised an eyebrow at this. He knew how wind complemented fire, and the fact that Naruto could use wind intrigued him greatly. Just like sensei. Wind? Asked Naruto, hoping for a little more explanation. It's actually a good element for you. Wind is one of the most effective elements for a close-range offensive as it acts like an extremely sharp blade. It's a rare element in Hai no Kuni, but extremely powerful once mastered, explained Kakashi. Wow, I'm going to be so awesome! Exclaimed Naruto. Kakashi just chuckled at the blonde's enthusiasm. Alright Sasuke, you're next, said Kakashi. But I already know my element's fire, responded Sasuke. I know, but it wouldn't hurt now, would it? Replied Kakashi. Sasuke just shrugged and took the paper. Sasuke once again raised his eyebrow at the paper's reaction. He was an Uchiha, so he had expected it to burst into flames, not crinkle. Even Kakashi was surprised by this. Well, it appears as if our Uchiha may not be an Uchiha at all, joked Kakashi. Sasuke shot Kakashi a glare and was answered with an eye smile. Just kidding. But lightning, that certainly is interesting. Coincidentally, lightning's my primary element. At least this was good news to Sasuke. If Kakashi was a lightning user, that meant that he would have some pretty powerful lightning jutsus that Sasuke could ask for later. All in all, this was actually a pleasant surprise for Sasuke, as this meant that he would have a fair amount of skill in not one, but two elements already. Hey Kakashi-sensei, so you mentioned the 5 elements were fire, lightning, wind, water, and earth. But what about Haku? Asked Naruto. Where does ice fit into elemental jutsus? Glad you asked. Ice is actually considered a sub-element, a perfect mixture of 2 or more elements to form a completely separate third element, Kakashi explained. If I'm correct, ice would be water and wind. Haku nodded at Kakashi's assumption. Kakashi handed Haku a piece of paper and Haku channeled her chakra through it. As Kakashi had predicted, Haku's paper had split in 2, while becoming soaked at the same time, but not before freezing into 2 separate shards of ice. I've always wondered what would happen when someone with a sub-element would do that. Okay Sakura, your turn, said Kakashi. Sakura did the same and watched as her paper crumbled to dust. You have earth. Kakashi then turned to his team. Okay, I think we'll call it a day. Meet here tomorrow and I'll have a simple jutsu for each of you pertaining to your element. Haku, sadly the village doesn't have any ice techniques, but are you familiar with the Suiban? Water style. Water whip. Haku shook her head. Okay, I'll give you that one. I've already got a theory on how you can make that jutsu work for you, said Kakashi. While a village wouldn't just go around handing out jutsus to new ninja, especially ones who have trained under an A-rank missing nin, the water whip was a fairly simple jutsu that Konoha had acquired from Kiri, meaning that it was practically common knowledge now and Haku wouldn't have a problem learning it. As Kakashi slowly began walking away, he eyed the pile of dirt on the ground that was Sakura's paper. Bending down to examine the dirt, he felt a sort of cool moisture. It's wet, he thought as he looked up towards his team who was walking away. The next day, Kakashi appeared, a few hours late as always, carrying 4 scrolls for his students. He gave Haku the scroll on the Suiban water whip, like he had said, and also an idea or two on adding her ice chakra to the jutsu. Naruto was given Futon Daitapa, Great Breakthrough, a basic wind jutsu. Sasuke was given Raiden Jaibashi, Electromagnetic Murder. Sakura was given Doden Doryuheiki, Earth-style Wall. Kakashi also gave them a few scrolls on basic elemental manipulation and told them to work on it during training, on their own, and while they waited for him in the morning. However, now they had a mission that they would have to accomplish, one which Kakashi knew would change his team. At the Konoha gates, alright, another C-rank mission, exclaimed Naruto, happy to be back in action and no longer doing those stupid chores, aka D ranks. They were currently waiting on Kakashi, which really wasn't anything out of the ordinary, including the fact that he had still managed to be an hour late to the gate. So what is it this time, Kakashi-sensei? Asked Naruto excitedly. Are we saving a princess or freeing another country? Everyone's sweat dropped at their blonde teammates' usual enthusiasm. No, it's nothing like our previous C-rank mission, said Kakashi. There's a bandit camp about half a day west of Konoha that's been disrupting trade routes, robbing merchants, along with other things. So we are just going to arrest a couple of thugs? Asked Sakura. Well, I guess that won't be too bad. Well, I never said anything about arresting them, said Kakashi. Then what? Are we just going to tell them to leave? Asked Sakura. Sigh. So innocent, thought Kakashi. Our orders are to eliminate the bandits causing problems along the road. Eliminate? But how? Asked Naruto. How else? By killing them, of course, replied Kakashi. Everyone just froze at Kakashi's statement. Sasuke and Haku remained rather neutral on the subject, but Naruto and Sakura, both whom Kakashi would consider innocent in the shinobi world, looked mortified. Their sensei was actually asking them to kill someone. We are ninja. I know Haku is already familiar with this and Sasuke's no stranger to the shinobi world. We are not good guys, nor are we bad guys. We are ninja, and as such there are times when we may have to kill in order to accomplish our objectives. However, even I know killing someone is no easy task, but there are times when it has to be done. I'll warn you now, a shinobi's first kill is never taken lightly. Most shinobi break down after their first kill, which is why it is my job as your sensei to provide you with the most controlled environment possible when it comes to your first kill, said Kakashi. That still didn't help to calm Naruto and Sakura down. Are we ready? Kakashi's voice called out over the radio. Ready, called out Haku over the radio. I'm in position, replied Sasuke. I'm ready, said Naruto slightly hesitantly. Quote. Sakura. Huh. Oh. I'm ready, I guess, said Sakura, even more hesitant than Naruto. Looking down over the small bandit camp, there weren't many people, 6 at most, present. There were 3 tents that surrounded a central fire. 2 of the bandits were behind the tents, keeping a lookout, while 2 more sat around the fire. Their intel had said that there were 6 bandits, so the remaining 2 had to be inside the tents. These were nothing more than common thugs armed with swords or clubs or anything they could get their hands on. Their chakra levels were low. If any of them had any sort of shinobi training, it wasn't beyond the 1st or 2nd year at the academy. Okay. On my mark. Go. Ordered Kakashi. Sasuke was the first to make a move, activating his Sharingan and silently jumping down behind one of the bandits that were patrolling the back of their camp. As the bandit turned around to see what had just landed behind him, all he felt was cold steel slash across his neck and his world go dark. The other bandit turned to see what the ruckus was, after hearing a second thud as his partner dropped to the ground dead. Just as he saw Sasuke and the corpse of his partner, he felt two sharp pricks hit him in the neck and he too dropped dead as Haku's Senbon were spot on, piercing the carotid artery in his neck. From his outpost in the trees, Kakashi could see that Sasuke, despite jumping in and making his kill first, was phased as he just stared at the dead body of his victim. This was as expected. Haku, however, despite looking saddened, showed no other signs that this was the first time she had killed. Of course, being trained by Momoichi Zabuza, Kakashi had expected that she had killed at some point. He looked over towards Naruto and Sakura, who still had yet to make a move on the two bandits by the fire. He was about to say something before he witnessed Naruto steel himself and make his move, activating his Sharingan and jumping down behind one of the tents. Kakashi looked on, waiting for Naruto to do something before the bandits were onto them. But then he realized what Naruto had done as the kunai that was in the blonde's hand suddenly disappeared and reappeared in the side of one of the bandits' head. Over the past weeks, Kakashi had worked with Naruto on how to effectively use his newest bloodline technique. He had Naruto freeze time and make the attack then, during the 5-second interval where his enemy would have absolutely no way to defend against his strike. It appears as if Naruto had decided to test it out for real instead of just on a dummy or Sasuke during a spar. Kakashi looked over towards Sakura, who was still situated in the tree. She should have gone with Naruto to take out the fourth bandit at the fire, but she had yet to move. "Hey, we're under attack," shouted the bandit that Kakashi had planned for her to deal with. Kakashi sighed as two more bandits came rushing out of the tents, wielding something sharp and pointy. Kakashi had said he was going to control the situation for his students and now he no longer was willing to send Sakura in with 3 weapon-wielding thugs. In one swift motion, Kakashi shunshined behind the 3 bandits and immediately dug a pair of kunai into the backs of the 2 on the side before disappearing again. The next thing the remaining bandit knew, he was being dragged underground so that only his head and neck were exposed. Making a hand signal, Kakashi gathered the rest of his team. He could see that Naruto was already queasy and on the verge of throwing up, an expected reaction to a shinobi's first kill. Sasuke, although not as bad as Naruto, was also showing standard signs on unease. However, Sakura still looked rather mortified. She had just witnessed her own team kill 5 men. "The last one's yours, Sakura," said Kakashi. "Wait, what? You can't kill me," protested the trapped bandit. "Please, I'll give you anything. There's plenty of money in the tents. Go ahead and take it. Just please don't kill me." "Kakashi-sensei?" asked Sakura, looking for some form of relief from this task. "I'll do it," sighed Sasuke. He was always having to do her part of the mission. It was irritating that all she did was fawn over him rather than pull her own weight. "No, Sasuke. I'm ordering Sakura to do it," said Kakashi in a commanding voice, despite the pleas and protests of the bandit. Kakashi then turned to the screaming head. "You should have thought about that before you and your friends raped our client's wife, kidnapped their daughter, and threatened to sell her off as a slave if they didn't pay your ridiculous price." This immediately struck a chord within Sakura and she steeled herself to make the kill, driving a kunai straight down into the man's skull. Moments later, she rushed into the woods as the nauseous feeling in her stomach was too much. Naruto soon followed suit. It took Kakashi about 20 minutes to bring his team back from the aftershock of experiencing their first kill. He hated to do it, but if they were to enter the Chunin exams like the Hokage had planned, then this was a needed eye-opener for them. Already, Kurenai and Asuma had put their teams through this and they were also talking of entering their teams as well. "Kakashi-sensei, was that true what you said?" asked Sakura, being the first to speak. Kakashi turned around before entering one of the tents and emerging shortly after with a young girl, maybe 6 years old at the most, and bound in ropes. It was our client hired us to rescue his daughter after they were attacked, and this girl, Mira, was taken from them, said Kakashi. He then turned to the girl, who was shivering as Kakashi removed the bonds. It's okay, Mira-chan. We're friends of your father and are going to bring you back to him. The girl's face instantly lit up at hearing she was going to be reunited with her dad. Like I said before, this is the shinobi world. Sometimes you are forced to kill to accomplish your mission objective, said Kakashi. This is just something you will all have to deal with. However, it doesn't mean you have to like killing. We're humans, not monsters. Even I don't enjoy killing, but I know when it's necessary in order to protect those I hold dear. You will encounter numerous enemies as you all grow older, and those enemies will threaten to take away everything you hold dear. Your family, your friends, your comrades, and even the very village you live in. As a shinobi, we fight and kill to protect that which is precious to us. The hardships we endure make us stronger and drive us forward, because that's what a shinobi is, one who endures and moves forward. The 4 of you killed to protect this little girl and to save her from scum that would willingly sell her off. So long as you only kill to protect that which is precious, you'll keep the morals that make us human. I was getting a little worried there, but all of you have passed this important lesson, said Kakashi. The shinobi world isn't just about catching cats and weeding gardens. One day, you guys will have more important duties where failure could mean the death of someone close to you. Kakashi trailed off. It took a few moments of silence before Kakashi began speaking again. Anyways, I think I'm going to let you 3 in on a little secret. The Chunin exams will be coming to Konoha in a few weeks, and the Hokage sees great potential in your generation. I've been thinking about recommending your 4 for the exam. Really? Exclaimed Naruto. Wait, what are the Chunin exams? Kakashi nearly faltered. Well, based on the name, I'd guess they're the exams we take to become Chunin, said Sakura. Correct, said Kakashi. However, the Chunin exams are very difficult and extremely dangerous. Should you fail, there is a chance you could die. However, do well and it will bring rewards not only for you, but the village as well. 2 more weeks had passed and the Chunin exams were now only about a week away. During that time, Team 7 had each managed to complete their first elemental jutsu, and Kakashi was having them complete the first phase in elemental training. Just after coming back from their C-rank mission to eliminate the bandits, Naruto had regained the full use of his eyes and now found he was able to see 2 days ahead. Before the wave, it was only a day and it will increase as time goes on. With the Chunin exams fast approaching, Kakashi saw this as a good opportunity to give Sasuke some private training, like he did with Sakura's Genjutsu and Naruto's timing of the Jiken no Tishi, in the Sharingan. Seeing as Sasuke's eyes had 2 tomo each, he would be able to copy jutsus without much of a problem. Once Sasuke got the 3rd tomo in his eyes, then Kakashi would be able to teach the young Uchiha about the hypnotic effects of the Sharingan. To help Sasuke learn how to copy jutsus, Kakashi gave Sasuke a few simple jutsus. The only catch, he had to copy them from the copy ninja himself. Immediately upon establishing herself in Konoha, Haku could see just how welcoming they could be to someone like her. She had never expected them to look so warmly upon someone like her. However, slowly she did begin to notice one thing that troubled her, and that was the way the villagers looked at Naruto. Sure, he could be a little loud and energetic at times, but that didn't warrant some of the hate-filled looks he was receiving from the villagers. To her, Naruto was one of the kindest people she knew, and she just couldn't understand why the villagers looked at him like she was looked at back in Kiri. Even still, after seeing the way Naruto pushes forward with that smile on his face despite the villagers' attitude towards him only made her admire the blonde more. And then there was Sakura. Kakashi was glad that she was starting to move, if only slightly, out of her fangirl phase. After that mission where she was forced to kill one of the bandits, Sakura actually did begin taking her shinobi training a little more seriously. She still fawned over Sasuke like he was the only male human in the world, but it helped that she was starting to actually train more and more. She had surprised Kakashi by nearly mastering the Magen, Kokoni Arazu no Jutsu, demonic illusion, false surroundings technique, and Kakashi figured he might as well move her onto something a little more challenging. However, what was still confusing him was her chakra affinity testing. At first, he only noticed the earth aspect of the paper, but after feeling it, the dirt was rather wet, indicating a potential water element. As it was, Team 7 was waiting on the bridge oh so patiently for their sensei to show, who was now running on 2.5 hours late. It was then that a square rock came slinking nearby and everyone just stared. Oh come on Konohamaru, what kind of rock is perfectly square with eye holes? Shouted Naruto. That's what I'd expect from the man viewed as my rival. Exclaimed Konohamaru as he, Moegi, and Udon crawled out from under the box. Hey, what's with the goggles? Asked Naruto. We're copying the old you, Naruto Nichan. Exclaimed Konohamaru. PF'd. Why would anyone want to copy that dobe? Snuffed Sasuke. What's with him? Asked Konohamaru. We've been trying to figure that out for ages, replied Naruto. Sasuke's eye twitched as he went back to minding his own business. Anyways, so can you come play ninja with us boss? Shouted an excited Konohamaru. Why would a ninja play ninja? Asked Sakura. The kids were starting to get on just about everyone's nerves. Of course their chronically late sensei didn't help the matter anyways. Hey boss, who's the girl? Asked Konohamaru before putting up his pinky finger. Oh I see. Is she your? Oh hell no you little brat. Shouted Sakura. Yeah, now I see. That forehead on her really is ugly, said Konohamaru mere seconds before he found himself doing the only thing he could at the moment, running for his dear life. Somehow Naruto got dragged into it and was running from Sakura along with Konohamaru and the gang. Sasuke and Haku just sighed as Kakashi finally decided to appear at just that moment. Konohamaru was running so fast, just intent on getting away from the pink fury of death right on his tail that he didn't notice the man standing in front of him as he slammed into the man's legs. Ouch. Watch it you little punk. Shouted a person dressed in what appeared to be cat pajamas wearing makeup, war paint, on his face. That hurt you little piece of shit. Konohamaru. Shouted Naruto. The makeup-wearing man grabbed Konohamaru by his scarf and lifted the child into the air. Kankuro, stop. We'll get in trouble. The girl with blonde hair tied in 4 pigtails and wielding a large fan on her back said. Oi, fat ass. Let him go. Demanded Naruto. Kankuro just looked at the leaf genin in front of him. Foreign ninja in the village. Why are they here? Is it for the Chunin exams? Thought Sakura. You wanna say that again punk? Growled Kankuro. Kankuro. Shouted the blonde-haired girl. Stop before he shows up. It'll only take a moment, Tamari, replied Kankuro. Besides, I hate midgets. Especially rude ones, makes me want to kill them. Kankuro reared his fist back for a punch but before he could clock Konohamaru upside the head, it was caught by a hand. Said hand belonged to the very blonde who was just standing on the other end of the alley. I didn't even see him move. Thought an astonished Tamari. How could he move so fast? Naruto, you shouldn't be showing off like that, sighed Sakura. After a moment of trying to contemplate just how Naruto moved so fast, Kankuro dropped Konohamaru and prepared to punch Naruto with his now freed hand. However, before he could even bring his arm back, he felt a sharp pain shoot through his arm as a Senbon struck him out of nowhere. I don't care if you're here for the Chunin exams. You bastards really shouldn't cause any trouble in our village, warned Sasuke as he and Haku appeared in a nearby tree. Damn, another guy who just pisses me off. Although that girl is pretty cute, thought Kankuro. The Suna ninja prepared to pull the bandage bundle off his back, but was stopped as another person announced his presence. Kankuro, stop. demanded the voice, and immediately a wave of fear shot through the two Suna ninja. Everyone turned to see a boy, no older than Naruto, with a large gourd on his back and the kanji for love tattooed on his forehead, standing on the tree next to Sasuke and Haku. "You're an embarrassment to our village." "When did he?" thought Team 7 in unison. "Losing control of yourself like that, how pathetic," said the newest participant. "Gee Gaara. Look. They started it." "Shut up, or I'll kill you," threatened Gaara before shunshining next to his comrades. "To be able to hit Kankuro like that, and to move that quickly." "I'm interested in you," said Gaara. "What are your names?" "Uchiha Sasuke, Yuki Haku, Uzumaki Naruto, Haruno Sakura." "I'm also interested in you," grinned Sasuke. "Sabaku no Gaara," said Gaara. "Are you in the exams?" Gaara was satisfied with a nod from Sasuke. He turned and walked away with his teammates. This was going to be a most interesting Chunin exam.